Hey guys, it's Marcus here from TalkSober.com, and today what I want to do is talk to you about alcohol cravings and how to deal with them. You see, one of the hardest things to deal with as an alcoholic or a problem drinker is the cravings. What do we do when we get that craving to go out and drink, or that craving to test ourselves with one drink, or whatever it is? And before we go any further, I want to tell you that over at my site at TalkSober.com/crave, I have set up 21 different things that you can print out and use to help yourself when you deal with cravings. And today what I want to do is I want to talk to you about how to deal with them, what to do with them when they come up, and everything like that, so that you can stay sober despite these crazy cravings you have. And what I wanted to do is bring this lemon to your attention. And you might be saying, well, Marcus, what does a lemon have to do with my craving? Well, what I want you to do right now is I want you to think about this lemon. Think about it, think about the taste of it, think about cutting into it, think about the smell of it. And what you might be noticing right now is you're getting a little tingling feeling in the sides of your mouth or back here in your jaw, right? And it might be like that acidy feeling or whatever it is. Now, this is something that your brain does when it remembers a certain thing like the taste of a lemon, right? It's automatically producing that stuff, just like when you get hungry, you automatically have stomach growls and things like that. Now, the same thing is happening when you're dealing with alcohol. You see, over and over and over again, you have trained your brain to think of alcohol with a good feeling, right? So what happens, we'll go over here to the whiteboard, and we'll talk about these cravings. Okay, so these cravings, what do we do? How do they happen? Now, what's happening here is you have your brain, right? We'll just draw a face. And we'll like draw a brain or something like that here, okay? That's the brain. I hope you guys like my drawing, right? So what's happening here is you have now linked this drink, we'll make a little fancy glass here, little straw, right? You have linked this drink with a positive feeling, right? And every time you think about that drink, you go, yay, wonderful, that's going to make me feel good. Now what's happened, let's say you drink 3 drinks a day. Over the course of a year, that is 1,000 times, you are telling your brain, this equals happy, this equals happy. If you drink 13 a day, well, you know, that's getting close to where I was, then you're dealing with 4 times as many, or like, you know, 6,000 or something like that, if you do the math correctly. So what's happening is over time, you are linking this with the positive feeling, right? The smell, the taste, the look. Everything is being linked, just like the lemon, in your brain. Now, there's several things going on here, and we're going to talk about this over at TalkSober.com/crave. All right, we got the 21 points. You can print them out, take them with you, everything like that. There's several things happening here. One of them is called involuntary recall. Okay? Have you ever had a time in your life where you were going along your day, maybe you were driving, maybe you're going through a walk, maybe you were working, or whatever it is, and all of a sudden some memory pops into your brain that you weren't even thinking about. Maybe you haven't thought about it in years, or whatever happens. Or maybe you're driving down the road and a song comes on, and instantly, just like the lemon makes you tingle here, instantly you start to have these feelings of sadness, or feelings of happy, or whatever it is because of that song. What's happening here is involuntary recall. You are involuntary recalling memories, right? Same thing happens with alcohol. Not only have you linked this drink to happy or whatever, right? You have also linked it to certain places. Maybe there's a certain bar. Maybe after work. Maybe when you get stressed. Maybe fighting with spouse or family. Right? You have linked this to pretty much everything. Like I drank when I was happy, I drank when I was sad, I drank when I celebrated, I drank when I was depressed, I drank when good things happened, when bad, everything was linked to drinking, right? So this involuntary recall was going on over and over and over again. No matter what happened, no matter what I did, this was being reinforced. Okay, there's another thing that is at play here, another recall, which is called euphoric recall. Now, euphoric recall is what happens when your brain only recalls the good, right? Think about it right now. When you think about drinking, when you get a craving to drink, you don't think about feeling like crap every morning. You don't think about those times when I was coughing up blood, thinking about suicide, dwelling on guilt, right? You don't think about that stuff. All you think about is, yay, happy, right? You think about happy, you think about escape, you think about good stuff. This is euphoric recall, okay? This happens because your brain here, right, your brain has an automatic forgetter. And this automatic forgetter is telling you to forget about the bad stuff, right? For some reason, this happens, and it doesn't link the bad with the drink. It only links the good with it. So much to where in my drinking, it got to where all I thought about was the good, even though all I got was the bad, right? Every time I drank, it didn't work anymore. It stopped working. It stopped being an escape. It stopped making me feel good. It stopped making all the good stuff happen. And all I had was this euphoric recall saying, I hope that I get that good feeling, right? So this is so strong that it bypassed everything else. And all I was thinking about was, hey, maybe good's gonna come, maybe good's gonna come, maybe this. And that's why I started drinking just to feel normal, and then started drinking because that's all I could do. I didn't see a life without drinking, okay? Very important. Now, this is happening because of your reinforced, and I apologize, I do not have a spell checker on the whiteboard, reinforced belief system. You see, what happened here is your brain not only is linking this drink with happy, the places you drank with happy, the euphoric recall, the memories of escape, the memories of getting away from feelings, all this stuff, and forgetting all the bad, but you also have a reinforced belief system. You have reinforced and you have taught yourself that this is a solution. Solution, there's an I somewhere in there, right? You have taught yourself that drinking is a solution. Right? You get in a fight, you feel like crap, it's a solution, and it worked. How many times did this damn thing work for you? It worked over and over and over again, and your brain remembers that. It's a reinforced belief system, and the pain fades over time. Right? How many times have you woke up and you say, man, I feel like crap. Man, I got regrets. I got bad feelings. I got thoughts. I can't shut them off. I'm never, ever gonna drink again. But then by noon, you're drinking again. That's because the pain fades over time and your belief system has been reinforced. And a solution that is in your brain as a good solution never gets replaced, or it never gets erased. It only gets replaced. So trying to erase alcohol as a solution, trying to say cravings go away solution, is counterintuitive. What we need to do is we need to replace this with something of equal or greater value. Okay? So we have the involuntary recall, which again is like our lemon, right? Remember that feeling there? Same thing's happening, right? You start salivating like Pavlov's dogs every time you see a drink, think about a drink. And unfortunately, if you turn on the TV, it's everywhere. If you drive down the road, it's everywhere. I'll never forget the first time I was leaving rehab after being away from drinking for 30 days. My eyes were like sensors that would find every bar, every Bud Light sign, every alcohol sign, every grocery store that had beer on sale, everything. It was like a tractor beam, right? Because I trained myself this way. Okay, so very, very, very important. So again, I want you to realize that we are not working on deleting the solution or getting rid of the solution, but replacing it with something better. Okay, now let's talk about how this works, okay? Because this is all what's causing craving. Let's talk about what to do, because I believe that if you know what is going on, right? If we look at a craving and we say, well, you know, a craving doesn't mean anything. A craving means my body wants some, just like the lemon, right? It doesn't mean anything that the lemon makes your mouth feel that way. It doesn't mean anything, okay? It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you're good. It just means, hey, that's the way the brain is wired. So when you have these cravings, you don't say, well, you know, I'm bad, I'm going to go back, whatever. What you do is you look at it as obsession of the mind. Okay? So you have an obsession in your mind. This obsession in your mind, as I try not to trip down my little stair here, right? Your obsession of the mind is going over and over and over again. You say, whoa, hey, there's a place I used to drink. Man, now I got to get something to drink. I think about what it tastes like. I think about what it looks like. I think about how it made me feel. I think about how it made me escape. Your obsession is in your mind, right? Just like the cousin of OCD. It's an obsession of the mind. Now, the obsession of the mind drives you to compulsion in the body. Okay, so you got the obsession of the mind. It says, oh, going crazy, going crazy, going crazy. Compulsion in the body says, I know how to shut this off. I know the solution. It works. It works, even though it's not working how it used to. It's a solution. It's all we got. And that's what it's saying. You got the compulsion in the body. So what do you do when you have these cravings? Well, number one, first and foremost, make the ass fall off pact. You might say, Marcus, what is the ass fall off pact? What does it have to do with anything? Okay? What that means is you agree not to drink, even if your ass falls off. Okay? Off. All right, so today you're making the ass fall off pact. That means you are agreeing not to drink today, even if your ass falls off. So no matter what happens today, not saying the rest of your life, I don't care what you do the rest of your life, I'm saying today. Okay, today you are agreeing not to drink even if your ass falls off, because you can make it a day, right? And that brings us to our next thing. So number one, we are going to cancel out the obsession of the mind and compulsion in the body, because your mind's going to shut up if it knows it can't get what it wants. It's like a little baby throwing a fit saying, gimme, 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 gimme alcohol. All right? And if you give in, boom, back to the reinforced stuff. Right? It's going to start the cycle all over again. You're going to give into it. So just give me a day. Say, you know what, Marcus, I'm not going to drink even if my ass falls off today. Tomorrow I could go out and drink as much as I want, but today I'm not going to drink even if my ass falls off. And you're going to repeat this tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and we're going to take it one day at a time. Sometimes, if you're like I was, you got to take it minute by minute by minute, right? These things are going to come at you. Life's going to come at you. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to get this thing that says, I know a solution. I got a little snack for you, right? You got the solution, and it says, this is good. This is what's going to happen, right? And you're going to give in or whatever, but not if you agree not to drink, even if your ass falls off. And I want you to remember also, in addition to that agreement, remember that what you do changes what you think. Once you do this one time, it's going to start a new reinforcement. You're going to start to replace this solution with other things that work, right? You're going to say, well, wait a minute. I had that craving. It was an obsession. And, you know, my ass didn't fall off, so I didn't drink. And I was okay. I lived, right? Because for me, I thought I couldn't live without alcohol. Thought I couldn't live. I felt like I couldn't live without it. But over time, I've been sober for 902 days, right? Not because I'm one of those crazy people who counts every single day. I actually looked it up on Google, the time between one date and another day, and it was 902 days, okay? Now, that's 902 days of reinforcing. In the beginning, I had tons of obsessions of the mind. It's all I thought about for about 6 months straight. After 6 months, it was like 90% of what I thought about, and then it tapered and tapered and tapered, and now it's just like a fleeting thought. And, you know, it's a lot better. It does get better, but you've got to train yourself this way. Otherwise, you're going back into all this stuff. Okay? So, agree not to drink even if your ass falls off. Remember, what you do changes what you think. So all this stuff, what you do is going to change what you think. And we're going to go through this with other videos as well. That's why you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm coming out with videos all the time. I built this fancy office for you so I could make some videos out here. Guess I didn't really want to talk about this stuff with the kids and the family around. I wanted to come out here away and talk about it with you so we can hammer this stuff out and get to the bottom of what's going on with your drinking. So what you do changes what you think. Subscribe, watch the videos, start doing this stuff because it's going to change what you think. Okay? And realize, hey, these are just thoughts. You are not the sum of your thoughts. You are not the sum of the things you do, and you are not the sum of the things that have been done to you. You are something bigger. Okay, so thoughts that come by, like when I was going through all this, I used to think that I was my thoughts. I would have a thought that would say, hey, you know what? Go hit that person. I'd say, oh, bad, Marcus, you can't think that. That's a bad thing. You're a bad person. Spank bad, terrible, right? And I would think these things, and now I just look at it and I say, well, you know what? Chemical impulses in the brain happen to all of us. So you got to remember that this is what's going on here, and a craving doesn't mean anything about you, right? And if you want to change the thought process, change what you do. Change what you do. Okay, very important. If you start doing stuff, your brain is going to start to learn new things. So remember that. What you do changes what you think. Don't drink, even if your ass falls off. And lastly, I want you to remember, right? I want you to remember that you can stop your world with 15 minutes. Okay, remember this. This is the single biggest thing that has kept me from drinking for 902 days, right? You can go to meetings, you can do whatever you want. They're great, they're helpful, but this is the one thing that helps me. Remembering that I can take 15 minutes and stop the world, right? Can you not drink for 15 minutes? Of course you can. You know you can, because every time you go to bed, unless you have an IV hooked up to you, which would be ridiculous, right? But every time you go to bed, you are stopping for 15 minutes. There are times throughout the day where you're stopping for 15 minutes. You're not drinking straight. So we already know that you can stop for 15 minutes. So what I want you to do next time you get the craving, say, you know what, my ass hasn't fallen off yet, although Marcus, it looks like his did. I wasn't born with one, right? But you look at it and you say, you know what, my ass hasn't fallen off, I'm gonna give it 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I can decide something else, I can do whatever I want. But right now, we're gonna do this. Right now, for 15 minutes, I'm gonna watch a video, maybe I'm gonna read something, maybe I'm gonna go outside for a jog, maybe I'm gonna get away from my environment, because you can change and you can stop your world in just 15 minutes. And I know that you cannot drink for 15 minutes. And I know after that 15 minutes, it's probably gonna be a weaker obsession. You're probably gonna be like, oh, well, you know, whatever. If it's not, give it another 15 minutes. After that, if it's not, give it another 15 minutes, right? Again, like I said, for this first 6 months, it was crazy time. I was trying to deal with this stuff. It was nuts. You know, I'd be going crazy. I'd drive around thinking, well, I could go somewhere and drink, but I'm not going to, right? And it was like a fight, but it gets easier. You just got to get past this part because you're going to learn a new solution. You're going to learn a new solution. And think about it. It might have been a while since you had a lemon, but those feelings are still there, right? They're still there. And we want to realize all this is an obsession of the mind. And we know that thoughts are nothing more than chemical impulses. Nothing more than chemical impulses. And if this stuff resonates with you, if it makes sense and you say, Marcus, I'm starting to see how this works. And I'd like to take you up on that little ass fall off pact. And I'd like to learn the 15-minute trick. And I'd like to learn not to fall off a stair. And I'd like to learn 21 things that can stop me from craving and 21 things I can do when I'm having these cravings. So what I want you to do is go to talksober.com/crave. That's talksober.com/crave. Put your name and email in the box. I'm going to send you a series of 31 letters I wrote to a family member of mine who's an alcoholic, trying to help him through this stuff. Right? Trying to share them, say, you know what, these are the things that I want you to know. These are the things that have worked for me. And if you want me to send those letters, I'd be happy to send them to you discreetly through email. We'll just put a little header on it. We're not going to like email you and say, hey, check it out, you got a problem. No, it's going to be discreet. It's going to be cool. We're all here to help each other out. And I got to tell you, you're going to start to feel a heck of a lot better. and you can do this. So go over to talksober.com/craving. Use these little 3 things I told you. Understand what's going on. Understand how the mind works, right? Understand, hey, you know what? It's not me being weak. It's not me being a loser. It's not me being some, give-in, can't hack it, okay? It's just the way the mind works. And unfortunately, throughout life, in school, no one sat us down and said, here's how your brain works. So we got to learn that on our own. And that's what I'm going to teach you here. So remember, agree not to drink, even if your ass falls off. Today, give me today. If you get stuck, if you got these things, if it's tough, take 15 minutes. And remember, what you do changes what you think. And what you think and believe changes the way that you feel. Because at the end of the day, we all drink because we want to feel better, right? That's what we want. We just want to feel better. All right, and this stuff is going to make you feel better than ever, better than drinking ever did for you, because you're going to start to learn. You're going to start to learn a new way of life, and you're going to start to feel better because this solution is going to be replaced, and all this craziness is going to start to go away, and you're going to start to think clearly. Believe me, I've done it. It works. So go to talksober.com/craving. Check out the other videos, subscribe to this channel, and I'm going to help you stay sober 15 minutes at a time. And again, remember, don't drink today, even if your ass falls off. Again, I'm Marcus from talksober.com. I hope this video has helped you. If it has, put your comments below. I love reading your comments, and your comments are actually what I base my next videos on. So if you say, Marcus, I'm struggling with this, right? We're going to help you out with it. We're going to make videos about it. We're here to help you. Thanks again for watching. I hope this helped you. Take it 15 minutes at a time and do the things that make you stay sober. Yes. Thank you. Again, that's talksober.com/crave. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next video.